Record to the cloud. I think I gotta turn it on. No, it says Al.
Yeah, Chelsea's on.
Paul, Chelsea. And then I'll turn on participants in case Megan joins the
Right.
waiting room.
I was fully functioning.
Oh, great. I love to see myself on video. Okay. Everybody ready? Lauren, you're gonna love our highway report.
Shortly.
No, it's gonna be anything but. All right, so I'll call to order the regular select board meeting for Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. 6:03 or some odd minutes. Does anybody need to remove or add anything from the agenda?
Nope.
We'll have to welcome Colin, our newest member here.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, approve the minutes from March 10th. I made a few small edits when I read them over today, but nothing major, so.
I think I could have seen something.
Yeah, you can vote, you weren't here.
Move to approve.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Citizens comments. Paul or Jesse, you have a citizens comment?
Yeah.
Okay,
Unless you need somebody to take up time.
no, I'm happy to get out of here quickly.
I'm sorry.
I don't think we're getting.
That's a joke.
Lauren's got to go home and boil, so he's happy to get out of here quickly. Paul, you're first.
Oh, wait, come on.
I ambushed you as soon as you came through the door. It doesn't work.
I was just gonna say that.
Wow.
Very.
Well, did anybody here receive a copy of the report that came out a couple weeks ago?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. Yes, we did.
Oh,
You did.
It's big. I think so. I think there's one out front.
Okay. Well, because there's, I thought one had been mailed here, because I really don't have anything much to add to what's in here, and I'll just leave this one with you as well. It does have a very good summary of the year in many respects. And of course, it toots its own horn, but it's a pleasant tune. And there is the financials, if you're interested in that. I think most important or most interestingly is the page that talks about looking ahead.
yeah.
First of all, this summer will be the 50th anniversary of the creation of the founding members of what is now Tri-Valley Transit.
Which was like Stagecoach.
It was Stagecoach and an actor in Addison County before the merger of the two. Which is just sort of a interesting historical note that we're going to celebrate. But the other interesting piece is that, as some of you may know, Green Mountain Transit, which is basically based in Burlington, runs between Burlington and has been in managerial and financial trouble for years, which I won't go into, but so much so that the state has started to take it apart. Green Mountain Transit is really the creation of a number of prior mergers going back decades, picking up everything north of Addison County, in the Burlington Chittenden area, and then further north, and then expanding to the east. The state AOT basically came to Tri-Valley Transit a year, maybe preliminarily almost 2 years ago, saying, would we be interested and willing to take over part of GMT's territory, especially the part that is the most like what we are.
Right.
Okay. So that's basically Washington County.
So you don't have to learn a new business.
So we have, actually starting several months ago, but it's been a gradual transition. Taken on Washington County, which is just north of us. An additional service, area.
With your existing infrastructure, or do you take
Well,
it to GMA?
Well, it's interesting, they're both organizational and asset issues associated with that. Our major concern as a board was, whoops, this is a major undertaking to be able to manage that service area. It's more buses, it's just a maintenance thing. It is a volunteer and staffing issue to be able to provide the services that we have provided in Addison County and Orange and North Windsor counties. Today I was driving, I mean, but you pick up that, and so we wanted to be assured that AOT was going to be supportive of us in that effort. It does add a little additional impetus to the creation of a new service barn that we have been talking about here in Randolph. Because we're gonna be, it's close enough to also be able to service any additional vehicles that are required for Washington County. That's all, those things are always complicated and imprecise, but it seems to be that they understand. And as you may know, Trini Broussard, no relation, that I can figure out, or that they admit to, but is moving into a managerial role and AOT as well. She's left the town of Randolph entirely in terms of civic engagement. And we'll have her hands full there. So we've had some conversations with Trini.
Right.
Saying that one of our concerns is we need her support in terms of gaining the approval of the Vermont State University system, which controls some of the land I was looking at up on the hill there for a good place for a new bus barn, basically. And of course, then there's funding that has to follow all of that. So I will just leave this with you guys. Your, bedtime snoozy reading, if you wish, and I'll take any questions.
No, it's good. I didn't have no idea that you guys have taken over. Is there not a service center up there that can be used by everybody?
Well, it's because it had been part of GMT, everything has been fairly run out of Burlington stuff. But they don't have a facility that can handle both the Orange County Stagecoach area stuff plus theirs in any kind of an efficient way. The bus barn we've had down Heading Drive for decades, is totally inadequate to service.
For even what you have now, much less the new.
Yeah, exactly, and they don't either, so that I think, but these things take years.
Yeah, the Bradford one took forever, right?
Yeah, and we've been trying to get an addition in Addison County for years and had a lot of stuff lined up, and much of this is, of course, federal dollars, as well as state and local contribution. And our beloved president put a kibosh on all of those kinds of things. So we're scrambling to, even though we had earmark and all that kind of the support of our congressional delegation for it. So these things, you can get them all lined up, but sometimes a duck gets out of line it-
Will the name change from Tri Valley to Quad Valley?
Quad Valley.
No, just kidding.
good thought.
So it sounds like you have made the decision to take on Washington
Yeah,
County.
we are.
And do you get to do that like slowly as you figure it out, et cetera? Cause it's presently not being served well or at all.
Yeah, well, I mean. Basic stuff you gotta work on.
Yeah,
Union. They've been a part of the union, the drivers in Washington County have been part of the union that is the Burlington-based GMP union. That is a different local than, what we have
Yeah.
here. It took us 3 years to sort that out in the merger, after the merger.
Mhm.
We just knew that was one of those things that management has to do and you need to work it out, but it's partly related to whenever the contract is up and having a working relationship. We have developed a fairly good relationship with the stewards and so forth, so we feel comfortable moving forward on that. But there are always differences. I mean,
Right.
there are differences particularly and not so much in the salaries as in the benefits.
Mhm.
Okay, and so you have to find, you can't have two different benefits. And nobody wants to give up what they got, so how do you do it all additive? I mean, it gets to be pretty expensive if now you have to spend. So these are things that you have to work through.
So you took it over, but there's a transition.
There's always a transition. I mean, we started the transition before we took it over. I mean, it was because the die was cast and people knew this is how we were moving forward. So that you're beginning to develop the relationships and with the staffing there and then whatever management team that they had assigned to this piece. But it is it's a thoughtful and deliberate process.
Yeah.
Just takes time.
Great effort on your guys' part, and it's a service group. And you see an additional need, and so you're extending, it's
Well, I
really,
think it's really, you have to take your hat off to the management team.
Yeah.
To Jim Moulton as the executive director and the staff that he has created and has maintained for years. So that we have a very solid team under him, both in terms of the regional directors here in Randolph and in Middlebury, the two centers that we currently have. But also the quote corporate staff, of which there are two, the finance thing, and personnel, which have been around for years, and it's a well-oiled machine in many ways. So the issue is always, being able to attract new recruits when you have retirements or whatever, or volunteers. And then support them at the staff level, the support is there. And so the state recognizes that TDT is the leading, regional transportation.
And having done one of these mergers before helped, I'm sure.
Having done the first merger and all of us have our issues and our problems, and the things that, get out of line, and you have to kick them back in when you're dealing with a rural area, your cost per ride
It's much higher.
is much higher than if you're just shuttling people between Burlington and Montpelier. Okay, and depending on what metrics are used to evaluate your performance, you either look good or you look bad. And so some of the things that we have had to cut back on, some of the, for instance, Megan used to like take the bus to work. Well, but there were only 3 or 6 people on the bus. I mean, and that's, so the metric was just not sustainable in terms of cost per ride or whatever.
She's listening, so it'll be great.
Hi. So those are the kinds of things that as at a management and budgetary.
Yeah.
Financial, and staffing, you got to always, and it's always dynamic.
Right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, right,
Always a pleasure.
yeah. I don't think there was anything here. I need to stick around for.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, all right.
Uh,
And
All right.
welcome to the team.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
he's,
Yeah, the only problem with you is that Chelsea is now all alone, you know, I mean, at least.
There's no- yeah.
There's no balance here, guys.
yeah, well.
Okay, I can hold my own with the boys.
Yeah. That was coming. I knew that was coming. I was just setting you up for that, okay?
Proof in the pudding.
All right, all right. Good night, guys.
See you later.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Do you wanna start on the highway report, or do you wanna?
Go ahead.
You got
Yeah,
anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things, but it's nothing serious.
Okay, so mine runs into grants, so I'm gonna butt up against Paul here. So, to give some background. Lauren and I went, is it yesterday? And met with Pat Ross at Thayer Brook, where we're replacing this structure. Because in the process of trying to get the stream alteration permit, we were asked for a stream profile and cross sections, which we haven't done. Because essentially what Contact did was design and sell us a structure with a bunch of drawings that said, this is how it goes together. And beyond that, get somebody to tell you how to do it. We make no claim to anything that happens after our design and you purchase it. And we don't plan to help. And so we went over there because we are not equipped to do the stream profile and the cross sections. That requires a bit of surveying that we can't do. Mike Blakesley at the state said he could do it for us, but he has no time and there are other things that need to be done. So why split that from the engineering that needs to be done to determine how and where this thing sits? So we have reached out to Pat Ross, who can do the surveying and the engineering to tell us where and how to install the structure. So that was what we did yesterday. We sort of ironed that out. He said, you know, the engineering can be lumped into the grant we have. If the grant is amended, and he talked to Mike Blakesley, who was willing to amend the grant to also include the engineers. Because if it's not there when we first submit the grant, if the engineering is not on it, it doesn't necessarily get paid. Okay. So they're willing to amend it to accept his engineering as a cost that the grant will cover. So I wanted to follow up because long ago when I had talked to Chris Bump about this project, he said, well, you could always do it as a two-phase project. And in talking to Pat yesterday, there were some questions raised sort of between Lauren and I and he as to what the two phases were. Okay, so could it be the first phase is the engineering and paying for the structure, which cost us $188,000, which is essentially all of our $200,000 grant. Okay, so between the engineering and the structure, it would almost make the grant and the match, because the match is 10%. And then if that's phase one, is phase two then a second grant later on for the installation? Which would cover another up to $200,000 for the installation. Okay, so that's the question we left the meeting with yesterday. So I called Mike Blakesley today, who is taken over for Chris Bump. He and one other person named Shauna, I think it is.
Shauna, yeah.
Have taken over for Chris Bump as sort of the people who run this for our district. And Paul had another conversation with him that's unrelated recently, I think. And what I learned was that our plan does not work.
The bifurcation plan wouldn't work.
In this situation, no. Because what generally happens, phase one is engineering. Phase two is installation. Because the state does not want to pay for the structure. What they have found in the past is if they pay for the structure, It sits for 5 years and nobody installs it. And they don't want to waste their money on something that may or may not get installed and who knows when. So the grant is not for the structure, the grant is for the installation of the structure. Having fun yet, Jesse? So what he said we could do, and he's willing to do it if we want to, is extend us for a year on the grant. I don't know if that gives us time to think about how we fund it, because what we have to use the grant for is the engineering that Pat Ross is doing and whatever it costs us to install it, and then anything left over can go toward the structure, right? So there's sort of a priority of payment, which is the engineering, then the work, and then any money left goes to pay for the material itself, because that's just their sort of order of priority.
When do we have to pay for the structure?
It's already paid for.
We already paid for it.
Okay,
So with the extra year,
The problem is getting it in the ground.
right, and so
yeah,
that's,
That's the issue.
so that's where the extra year comes in, because our thought was that we would save money, which now I don't know if it matters. Our thought was that we would save money by doing it ourselves as the contractor with some guys with an excavator to come in and help us, right? Which still works, it helps us pay for more of the structure with sort of what's left over.
but we need the
But-
engineering to do that.
We need the engineering and we need the time, because we have 3 other grants for this summer. So fitting this in, if we are to run the show, will be incredibly difficult. Because when Lauren and I thought if we take a month and really go at it, we can get this done. Pat Ross seemed to think that that might be a gross underestimate of time.
And it puts off all the other projects.
And it makes them, doesn't put them off, but it makes them more difficult.
Yeah. Lots of uncertainties.
So by getting us the year buys us a minute to decide if we're still going that direction where we're installing it. Or if we're putting it out to bid again with the engineering that will help people refine their bids, because we didn't have that in the beginning. We were flying blind. We just gave them drawings of the structure and said, here you go, have fun. Now we'll have very granular information for them to use to get their bids down better, right? I don't know if that means they're gonna go up. I don't know if that means they're gonna go down, or if they stay the same. I have no idea. But we have a minute to think about whether we're gonna do it or whether we bid it, knowing that the bid is what the grant's gonna pay for, less the structure.
The max we're gonna get for a grant for this project is the 200,000.
That's it.
No
No matter
matter
what.
how,
No
it
matter
doesn't matter what you do.
And we're required to spend 20. So
Right.
there's 220 that's obligated.
Right. And the only way we're gonna get 200 from the state is if we have it installed by December 31st.
Of this year,
Of this-
unless we get an extension
Right.
until December 31st.
Which is sort of your question, do we pursue, but if we don't pursue the extension, the only option. Is to get all this money that we need all 200 of the state's
Is to
money,
obligate him for 4 to 6 weeks for installation.
which is maybe if everything goes swimmingly. Right? If everything goes swimmingly.
Maybe extended a year and
Me-
bid it out again.
What's the downside is the project doesn't get completed. And
But
we
it
have
doesn't
another
matter, it
season.
doesn't matter because the structure is not going anywhere.
Right,
It's already paid for. And we're not gonna get, that's not, because the idea was. Initially, we can just pay, it's already paid for, we'll just reimburse ourselves for that in the engineering and then start over from scratch and have $400,000 for this project. But what I get today is there's no way we will ever get the 400. We got the 200, that's it. We're never gonna get more. So we have to find out how we maximize that 200. And after talking to Mike, unless you really want to do this year, I think we buy ourselves the year because the other thing is, if it gives Pat and those guys more time to spend figuring this out from the survey and engineering standpoint. And we're not reacting starting April 15th, trying to get a permit, trying to figure out how we install it, trying to get everything lined up to begin on July 1st, which seems like a long window, but it's really not in terms of this sort of thing.
How quickly would we find out whether or not we got the extension, or is that something that is pretty much always given when you ask for it?
I'm not gonna hold V-Trans to anything, but based on my conversation today, I think it just requires me to send an email stressing the hardship. And I don't want to say it's pro forma, but I think there's a better than even odds that we'll get it.
We should go for the extension then.
Yeah,
It's like it's gonna cause too much stress to try to do everything this summer.
it's that, and it's the financial and engineering piece that really worry me. It's because, like he said, if we don't have this ironed out precisely, and we get another December or whatever 2023 July 2023 flood, and the footings aren't just right, then kiss this $188,000 structure goodbye, right? Or
Yeah.
$100,000 in repairs.
The big problem with the structure is they did not didn't have anybody come in and design the structure, like
For the site.
for the site.
The
They
site
just-
has to be
They just
designed
came
for the
in and said, oh, looks like this would work, this and this and this. That's all Comcast did.
Mhm.
They didn't.
So they didn't take new test bores, which they should have, to see where ledge was. Because if basically you're putting this in the ground, yes, 6 feet below the water level, but we've seen Irene.
Mhm.
Right from Brook Bridge. They walked right underneath the footing on the far side after it was extended in the air. So if there was no pylons in there, that bridge would have been gone. But that bridge did not move an inch. So that's another issue with this structure over there. There's no ledge
To pin it to.
that, that's gonna help hold that thing there.
And
All it is concrete in a box.
And they also, on the outlet side of the structure that's there now, there's a, I don't know, 8 to 10 foot deep scour hole, where the water comes out and digs a hole on the other end that actually goes deeper than where the footings will end up. So you have to mitigate that, right? So that you're not scouring underneath your footings before you even begin. So there's a lot that basically Contact, like I say, just sold us the giant culvert without necessarily designing for the site. So there's some back engineering that has to happen here in order to get ourselves in a position to do this successfully.
So I think I agree with Chelsea and Jesse that we should definitely seek the extension. It doesn't mandate that we extend, right? But we're planning to extend. I'm wondering though, if we do extend, is there anything we want to do in the interim to see if we can get it done sooner? And I'm just asking questions to fill in holes in my memory about this. We would never contract this project out because it's too expensive.
We might though. It might be that based on time and resources, if we bid it again, we don't have to accept the bid.
Right.
If we bid it again and somebody comes in at 210, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Maybe if somebody comes in at, like Colby gave us what, 130? Knowing what we know now, that's never gonna be the case. The other issue is,
You'll never get it in there for 130 because Pat Ross said, well, you're gonna have to put in a bypass.
yeah, he wants
Well,
like
we
a five.
didn't think he could get it in for 130.
No, but I mean, but there's also things that have come up, like, before Contact did this, no one did the drilling and the testing to see what was underneath. So now an added cost is gonna be a hammer to remove the old bridge abutments that are there. That was never in any of the old bids, right? So at a baseline, they probably go up a little bit or something like that. But I don't know, having the engineering maybe helps them understand I didn't need this material that was in my old bid, or that sort of thing. I don't know how it plays out, but we can't base a decision based on what they bid because they weren't bidding with all the information they needed.
Right. And there's no way we're gonna get that information finished up with the engineering and the survey to be able to get a bid to possibly have somebody do it this summer.
Not a chance.
I move that we extend.
I mean,
I don't see any other option though. It'll give us time to think about what we're gonna do to put it in. Because, we gotta have Pat Ross do what he's gonna do. So we can understand exactly where it's going. Yeah, we can't just go over and, oh, well, this looks good.
Right.
That ain't the way it works.
You know, the thing's on an extreme angle, like the brook almost turns 90 degrees, right? So
He's concerned about that and the design of cause he
the front head
looked
wall.
the design all over. And the head wall and stuff is. He really doesn't see how it's gonna work, but. He's concerned about it.
So now we're basically playing catch up. And I think this is the most efficient way to play catch up. It costs us a little bit on the front end, but makes things clearer on the back end, so we're less reactive later. That makes sense.
Cause you think we're not gonna use up the 200?
No, I think we will. I think when this is all said and done, it'll be between $500,000 and $600,000.
No, the 200 grant by December, but got it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to buy 200 feet of 4 or 5 foot culvert to bypass the water that's there. 200 feet. Well, not just 40 feet, 200 feet. That's the way I see it over there. You?
Probably at least 150 to get around
Yeah.
it. It's not, because it's not, the issue is, you know, like on Woodchuck Hollow. Colby essentially built around the stream,
Mm-hmm.
but that one coming down Thresher, when he did it in August, had no water in it. There's not that way. It's always gonna have much
Some
more
water.
flow than Woodchuck Hollow or Thresher or whatever you wanna call it, right? So this one is a little bit different than that, and so you're having to make different concessions as far as how you deal with the water.
Then when you put it in, you're gonna go, if you go to do all the work, you gotta cross your fingers, you don't have a flash flood in the middle of it.
Right. Which we did at Woodchuck Hollow.
So
Yeah. I think that's a great solution, and I think the way you like went at negotiating with all these folks to inform them and the options that you guys came up with. You looked at all the possibilities.
I mean, I don't know, you know. I don't know that we don't send the bid even wider to somebody like J. McDonald, some of the big guys, because maybe they come in and do it cheaper, because they got tons of experience and they can get the equipment and they get in and out faster. I don't know.
They might not even take a job this size.
Right, but you don't know,
Right.
and it's worth asking.
For sure.
Because not that I don't trust the local guys, but I honestly don't know that any of them has done anything this large before. You know, even the ones Colby has done for us have been what, 30 feet? That were much less intricate and difficult.
We're in those 64 feet long.
Yeah, and we can't make mistakes now. Inadvertent mistakes, so.
The other piece that follows with that then, if we have the extension is. We have this FEMA money, is it worth patching up the head wall with the FEMA money we have this year?
You're gonna be in stream because you're gonna fill that hole in.
That's what I'm saying, you can use the FEMA money to help you begin the process on the scour hole. As part of the head wall mitigation work.
Can some of that be done by us this summer?
Needs big rock. I don't know if I can pick them up.
Equipment wise.
We would have to rent an excavator or hire one out. But you know, there's what, $32,000 in FEMA money, I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
So we can hire.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a wise move just to obviate against, whatever may happen in the event we have worse water while we've got a poor structure, It's like
Well,
if we can
and if-
mitigate a little bit, I think
and
that's.
it
wise.
uses that money to sort of pay forward on the next pass, right? So if some of that scour hole is filled in, there's less work for these guys that are bidding for it later. So that saves some costs back then, paid for with FEMA money. We have a 2-week window to get it done in July, because we can't get in there until July 1st. So somebody's gotta be ready to go. And I'll have to talk to Rachel Czar about permitting that. But I think that's the other step that can help bring down the cost a little bit, possibly.
And work toward a temporary partial solution.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I told Michael I was gonna talk to you guys about it today, and then I'll email him tomorrow. He said he'd let us know by the end of the week, so.
About the extension. It's great.
If you're good with that, you're the one that's
Yeah, it's
spearheading this.
great.
All right, I'll do that tomorrow. I don't think it requires us to vote, but
You know, Taco Pat, it's made it a big eye over there.
yeah, cause we had an idea, but we don't have the engineering viewpoint that he had.
Right.
And the state guys that come down didn't bring up the same questions, right? They're like, hey, looks good, have fun. They're looking at it from a hydraulic study point of view and not from a, how does
How
this
do you
thing
do
go
it?
in the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm done. Now what you got? I had the good news. Now you got.
Yeah, I wanna spend some money.
What else is new?
Not as much as you.
Maybe we should have her leave.
No, it's 3 foot basket. I got the thing over the garage, I didn't go get it. 'Cause I was like, it's a 3 foot basket that you put on forks. Like we could use a tractor for a lift. The money in the basket.
You. Come on.
And
Now he lost his train of thought.
we got Thresher Road up there, we got a grant in to see, we're trying to seek a grant to fix the guardrails up there and take out some ledge to make it wider through there. And in order to
Yeah,
cut
they-
the trees and brush along the top of the ledge, you're gonna either climb up and hang down over or buy this basket. Of course, we use the basket for a lot of things.
It's like a man lift basket.
It's basically
And it
man,
goes on what?
goes on a set of goes on a set of forks.
So he's
So we
like,
have
Oh,
a
oh.
tractor,
Got
you
it.
put
Yeah,
a
yeah,
head
yeah.
on it and hitch it to it. And
Yeah.
then you put somebody in the basket with a harness on, so you can't fall out, and it's perfectly OSHA legal. It's like, some under $700, I don't remember exactly what it was. So, that I would like to purchase.
Does that get them high enough?
That's as high as they're gonna go.
You don't
Yeah.
He ain't going any higher.
You don't have forks for the loader, do you?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if we had those.
No, I wish it did.
Okay.
Do we need to get the forks to use the basket?
I don't know, would you ever use forks for the loader?
If we ever buy another loader, it should have forks.
But not for this one.
Cause if you wanna get rid of the tractor, that'd be free.
Well, we've talked about it. The only tractor this is gonna work on is the blue one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, well, the yellow tractor has a bucket, but I don't think it's ever been on since it was here. The other tractor with the overland mower on it,
Yeah,
yeah, it has a loader.
yeah.
It's got all kinds of attachments for it.
None of them have ever been
Which
used.
I have no idea why we got so many.
They've never been used, cause it came
Yeah.
with it as a package deal.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, uh-oh, we overtalked our time with Megan. She's gotta leave.
Does she want something?
She was gonna talk about the MERP thing.
Oh, right.
I don't know how you get to chat.
Yeah, sorry guys, I gotta run to take Bruce to hockey tryouts, but I just put a bunch of stuff in the chat and I sent an email earlier today. So
Okay.
just if you want to let me know if you have any questions or if you guys want to make a decision tonight, just let me know what
Can
you
we-
decide.
Can we vote without you?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
no longer a voting member, so.
No, I'm saying, do you mind if we vote if you're not here? We'll just
No,
have to
it's
do it.
fine. Yeah, I mean, unless you have any, critical questions before you vote. I mean, I
So
guess,
Megan, I don't see the chat. Am I right that what you want us, what we're trying to vote on today is the scope of the work so that you can proceed to hone that? And then also the energy information that you sent earlier today or yesterday is just about the efficiency of a fossil fuel versus pellet system, right?
Yeah, so I called a couple of schools in Vermont that have installed these systems, and one of the guys I talked to didn't have any hard numbers for me, but he was just like anecdotally skeptical about whether or not they had actually saved any money on fuel from switching from heating oil to the pellet unit. And I approached Efficiency Vermont with that question and asked them to, make some assumptions about our costs so that we could understand whether or not we would actually be saving money on the fuel, because I feel like that is a,
Yeah.
component of this that is attractive.
Definitely.
So, they sent that information that I forwarded to you. And I mean, I think that's helpful. Like the,
Totally.
Lime Green estimates that we would spend about 6,000 in pellet fuel every year. Um, and then there's some other costs, and I put that in the Zoom chat, Dan, if you want to just read that
Yeah, yeah,
after
that
I
there.
leave. But so I mean, but generally people like working with Lime Green. I think there might be a few issues, but I think that we could mitigate that by having a pretty tight contract with them. So
Okay,
but everyone seemed to be happy with them generally. And they have been really responsive to all of my questions and really helpful. So I feel like that's a good sign. Um, and yeah, I think
great.
that's probably about it. There's a few other details in the chat message that I wrote, but I think that's all I have.
Okay,
I've had good experiences with Lime Green. They're my current pellet supplier.
there you go.
Super helpful.
All right, go take
Okay.
Bruce and then we'll choose a scenario.
Okay, sounds good. I'll have my phone if you want to text me with any questions.
All right,
Thank
sounds
you.
good. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Meg.
Okay, I went a little long. Sorry, that was my fault. Um,
Do we need to vote on Lauren
do we have to?
spending money?
Sure, I'll make a motion that you buy your basket.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay, vote. Now you got approved. What else did you want to buy? Is that the only thing you got?
That was it. Nothing else, actually. I ain't got anything else right now.
Okay. Grant report, Paul.
Okay, well, since last week's report, on Friday, I received an email from a gentleman at the Agency of Transportation, James Moeller. And it was addressed to my predecessor, so I called him up, or I emailed him, to let him know about the staff change. And he called me up and asked if we could set up a meeting, Zoom meeting for Monday. And he did invite his supervisor, Michael Blakesley, to join in. And so I agreed. And he sent me about 10 documents, some of which seemed familiar to me, some I wasn't sure about. And I think that Daniel and Lauren had probably seen all of those documents in terms of the town road and bridge standards, certification of compliance for town road and bridge standards and network inventory.
Yeah.
And also the AOT grant application, which can be, which I think Lauren has seen. And I think Rita might even be filling it out. I haven't had the time since yesterday to meet with Rita to check on where she's at with any of this, but that was the grant related activity that I took, and it looks like the road and bridge standards are on the agenda for tonight, so some progress will be made. I'll get with Rita and find out where she's at with this, and she's of course coordinating with Lauren, so between all of us, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I will try and stay out of the way as much as I can.
Yeah, basically we have to keep all that compliance up in order to get the grants. We have to abide by the road and bridge standards in order to get the grants, otherwise they won't give it to us. And I think Rita copies me and Lauren on everything, so we should see most of that. Okay,
That was it.
perfect. And then, you know, the biggie with our extension, but
Right.
that's on my court and not yours, so
Okay.
I will do that. Okay, now we're to Merck. Megan left just like 5 minutes too early.
Would you mind giving me the background on what that's all about?
The Merck?
Yeah, because
Gosh.
being a pellet customer, I'm kind of curious about what this is.
Okay, so I don't know. What's your email? I can forward you the email.
I have a functioning email.
I know.
It's
I gotta hold on.
usual.cns.
So long, those stupid email addresses. Did she send us that spreadsheet
I think it.
or the spreadsheet we looked at last week?
I have it. Do you want me to send it to Colin?
If you can, that'd be great.
It's in our meeting packet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, here it is. I got it right here.
Live link.
I got it. Chelsea, I already found it.
Great.
Too slow. C. Evans. C. Evans. What is this email address? C. Evans.
Braintree, it's like.
Oh, it's the Braintree, yes.
On the, agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's in the packet,
Yeah, I got it right here.
page.
The last one. It's in the last packet. You don't have the last
That
one.
link.
Or which page?
You're at the spreadsheet now?
Yeah. Oh, I don't see a spreadsheet in the lead packet.
It's the, you're thinking of the last week. Here, I just sent it to you. Okay, so basically it's this, we got a grant.
Hang
I
on,
don't
let's
know.
let him can we let him get to this?
Well, I'm gonna explain the
which I think-
background of what he's
All right,
looking at.
I'm looking at it, I got it.
So I don't know when we got that grant, Jesse, 2 years ago, maybe?
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, we got an energy resilience program grant
This one.
that is from the state, that is meant to be used to upgrade the infrastructure in the town to increase efficiency or better winterize or, you know, get more efficient heating systems or whatever we want to do with it within their scope. And it has to be spent by the end of this year.
Okay.
It's about $135,000 or something to that effect.
A little more, a few thousand more.
So let's call it 135, just for the round numbers. So Megan's in charge of that. She started it while she was on the board and has kept it because none of us wanted to jump in. But what we've contemplated is we've had several contractors come in and look at this building and the garage and what we can improve and how in order to maximize the money and get the most efficient systems. Okay, so we've looked at everything from blown in insulation in the roof of this, replacement of all the windows. What else over here? That's about it over here, right?
Yeah, there's a few other small things that we're happy to do.
The toilet.
Yeah, I would have done that and she won't freaking buy the toilet and I was gonna put it in for her. And then in the garage, there's a ton of insulation in the garage. I don't know, 8 years ago, we were gonna replace the floor in the big end because it's chewed up and you can't clean it. It's dusty and it's kind of a, you know, particular hazard.
Is it?
We were gonna do it, we never did, so we're trying to link replacing the floor in with all this. And when we do put in radiant heating in the floor, because it'll help dry out the trucks and give them a better surface to work on.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe insulate this end of the garage, maybe not, we don't know yet. Definitely insulate the far end of the garage. And then in the course of doing that too, put in a pellet boiler to heat that garage. And at some point, we can run a line 8 feet underground from the garage to here to heat this building also, because this building is, are you all on propane now? We got rid of the oil, didn't we?
Your,
No,
these things.
those are, no, those are propane
Yeah.
and electric.
Yeah, so they're heat pump and these propane are nice, okay? But if these ever go out, then there's the option to push, that boiler is big enough to run both buildings.
So they selected for both, okay.
Okay. So what Megan did was put together all these spreadsheets with all the scenarios, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. And in addition to the MERT funds, we have some amount of money in our campus improvement fund. That was originally started with the idea of tearing all this down and starting over, or somehow revitalizing all this in a different way than what we do with the campus. So we put in $75,000 long ago and then added to it for a couple of years. We had a feasibility study done for a certain amount of money that gave us renovation of both buildings, tear both buildings down and build one structure here, renovate these buildings and use the town hall, and sort of 3 things we could do there. And I think the costs on those range from like $1.75 million to $3.2 million.
Okay,
So basically that told us not gonna happen.
work with what you got.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So our thought is the best way to do that is to maximize the use of this money
Mhm.
and improve the use to the best of our abilities,
Okay,
and then move on from there. So we have to choose a scenario of how much we want to get done. Jesse, you work here every day. What do you want?
well,
I wanna do this.
Include the windows, don't they?
I think so. The main questions are how far we go with the garage. I think it's a no-brainer. We do everything they want to over here. Question is, how much do you want in the garage?
All I can get.
what temperature?
Well, so my question to you is,
4, 3.
at the end of this, do we care how much money is in the town campus fund?
Well, kind of, cause we're gonna start building on that, right? So that we can
Yeah.
eventually, but by the time we get enough money to build on, it's gonna be like $5 million to freaking replace both buildings and whatever, but I mean, yes and no. You know, if it's gonna be forever before we replace these buildings, then I say we have to do as much as we can do to just make
I mean, realistically,
it miserable.
the tear it all down and start over, and I'm sort of working on what I remember in my head, was like 2.1 million. I mean, realistically, how long is it gonna take us to save $2.1 million?
Well, right, but how long is it actually gonna be 2.1 million?
No, it is, yeah, it's going up 10% a year, so by the time it takes us 15 years to save that, it's gonna cost 5 million. And
Okay. I'm saying,
that's why I worry less about how much we leave in the campus fund, because if the difference in the scenarios is we're left with 90,000 versus 102, that 11,000
yeah,
is worthless compared to the overall long-term cost.
And I add to that. And I add to that when we found out, the cost of building out the various campus options. Like, this is a really affordable, appealing campus improvement. That comes at a very affordable price. That accomplishes some of the purposes that we were hoping with the broader. Campus improvements in other buildings, et cetera. If we built a new town garage over by the town hall, it was gonna be heated and it was gonna be bigger and it was, all those things. Well, we're getting some of that with what we have now. So I think as I called it last meeting, the whole enchilada is achieving a lot of our goals with resources that we applied or reserved for this type of purpose. And is not, buying extra things for a lot of extra money. It's buying extra things, the radiant floor, for an additional.
I think a radiant only adds like 10 or 12.
Right, $11,000, something
Which is
like
a
that.
no-brainer.
You see,
Yeah, if you're tearing up the floor, it's radiant.
Yeah.
The work's done.
So can you help me understand this? We have 198 in the town campus fund.
no, that was as of July 1st. So I think we have 202, something like that, right? 203.
Does that
Yeah.
include the MERT money?
Yes.
no.
That was already added.
English that last week,
I thought,
that it did not.
oh,
Right.
198, and then this.
Let me go grab my.
Total expense, two.
Was, oh, and left this, right.
So we
Because,
have-
because we've offset it here.
Yeah.
So, yes, it includes it until you spend it.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out on the spreadsheet. Which scenario, Lou, is the do it all?
Is number
Two.
two.
So that we'd be in for 111 and change. Am I
Right.
reading that right?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
would leave us roughly $85,000-$90,000, assuming nothing goes over cost. So let's say. 10%,
But it leaves, and
leaves
then it
75,000.
actually leaves us with 90. With the new numbers.
Oh, okay, I see.
Oh, I didn't see there were more tabs. Sorry about that.
Oh, all scenarios funding, actually, no, okay. I mean. The only thing I would take out of the garage is how badly do you want this end insulated?
It would help when you jump in the loader, you gotta sit there and wait for it to warm up. You're right to work.
And it'll
go ahead and
help.
wait 20 minutes for it to warm up when it's 20 below out. So the hydraulic will work. If it's in a heated room at 63, 4 degrees, you gotta wait. Jump in it and go. The deck. Have issues with that when it freezes. That's in everything now, it's diesel. Over a certain horsepower, which everything we had was over that horsepower, except for the excavator. That does not have depth.
So if we do lose Cadillac version, it leaves us with about 92,000 in the campus fund. If you account for overages, let's say 75,000.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I mean, we're back where we started.
Mhm.
And remember, some of this is our,
So basically, I don't care how much we spend, as long as we don't go over what's in the tank.
That's my question. Do you care how much money remains in the campus fund?
Not as long as we don't spend more than what's in there.
Well, let's hope it doesn't go $91,000 over budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then, I don't know. I think we do. I'll make a motion that we operate on scenario 2. For the improvements.
second,
With. Which one is?
weatherization, garage heat, radiant floor.
Scenario 2 is everything,
Okay,
right?
yeah, I got it.
We think.
And this is what you were just asking Lauren about
Yeah.
saving.
The
Town garage insulation and the unheated end.
Say it's $43,000.
what kind of insulation are they talking spray foam?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know anything about the pellet boiler they spec'd out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not have Lime Green do installers, but they've been servicing it. We had a Main Energy do ours. And the Vermont Glove Factory. In Randolph has the same industrial center, the giant ass silo outside the stores and everything.
Window warehouse does too.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys were recommended to us because they've done this for a couple other municipalities. So,
The weird thing about ours is that it fires on and off and it's constantly cycling. It's not designed to be used with a giant holding tank where it would fire once, heat up the giant holding tank until it calls for you.
right.
So we got 4 zones and it's constantly doing this, which to me seemed very efficient. I would hope that if this is spec for an industrial setup, it's gonna be a lot more efficient than what we've got.
But we have to trust the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Lauren, or I'll read this that she sent. She's got to take blah, blah, blah. They like working with them, like she said. Sometimes they run over on time which we can only afford a little bit of overrun on time in this case, because it has to be spent by the end of the year.
But that's what she was saying, we can control in the contract.
Yeah. Operating costs would include an $850 annual service. I don't know, do we pay anything to service any of the equipment over there around here? No?
The heating equipment,
No,
No, but I bet,
propane burns cleaner than diesel fuels that. They don't come,
Okay, so that's a cost that we don't currently carry that we would. We'd have to figure that into our. $6,000 a year in pellet fuel. I don't know what our propane budget is for the garage.
well, that's what Megan sent, but that's what Megan sent today, sort of an analysis about pellet fuel versus heating oil.
Yeah, but I mean, but if we're replacing is what I'm saying, so that,
It comes out basically 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
as far as the efficiency of it, but the cost and the budget is what I'm saying. How much do we currently pay yearly for all the propane to heat that place?
no, what she sent today was based on $3 a gallon,
Right.
and it's not $3 a gallon
It's
right
like
now.
$4.50.
So it's not
$5.
6 one,
She
half
said
dozen the other.
$3 a gallon at the break even point. That's where it's a wash. It's like 450 something again.
Right, and so it's, if anything, what that says to me is pellet versus fuel oil, you're gonna use the same amount of it. Right, and if it's $3 for pellets and $3 for fuel oil, it's 6 of one. As soon as fuel oil continues to rise,
Right.
you save a ton on the pellet.
Mhm.
So my point to Dan is, well, what's in the budget? Right now, if 6,000 is in the budget. 6,000 would cover the pellets. But likely because of the recent increase in fuel, it's gonna be 9,000 for the heating oil.
Who do we get our propane from? Is that place run on fuel oil or propane?
Gillespie,
Which one?
propane.
In the garage. That's what I'm trying to see. How much do we spend on propane last year? How much do we budget? Is it under the fuel, oil and diesel line?
No. There should be heating over there.
3,500. So the cost is gonna go up.
I mean,
They're.
But not because of the pellets.
From there.
actual cost last year is $400.
So you're gonna add $4,000 a year to your budget.
Not because of pellets.
Yes, because of that.
No, because if it.
No, no,
Next year.
Hold on, stop. They are telling us it's gonna cost us $6,000 in pellets every year. Next year will cost us $6,000 in pellets. This year, we spent $2,500 to heat that building. Our budget is gonna go up from that 2,500 to the
That's what it was last
6,000 it
year,
will
not
cost
this
us to run the building.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, except what I'm saying is that 25 isn't gonna be 25 anymore. Next year, that 25 for fuel oil is probably gonna be 5,000.
I know, but if you zero it and replace it, your budget is going up.
By 1,000, not by 3,000.
No, by 4,500. You paid 2,500 this year, you will pay, okay, consider that gone, okay? You're gonna pay 6,000 next year. The difference in those is 3,500. This 2,500 is just subsumed here. So our budget's going up by 3,500 on the heating. Whatever, moving on. There's a 5-year warranty we can buy for $5,000. This includes annual service. So that buys us back $4,000 in annual service.
5-year warranty on what?
I assume on the whole system, but I don't know. That's just a note here. So you have to ask what that is.
I thought most of them come with 25 or 30-year warranties now.
I think the warranty in this case might be the free services. And
Oh, so
fixing it.
So it's from the installer, it's, okay.
That's the way I read it. And then there's another cost, and then she sent the efficiency analysis that by email today that she's talking about. The crew will be responsible for emptying the ash pan a couple of times a month. Lauren, can you handle that?
Oh, hard one.
Okay. And that's it. Jesse? Can we handle the extra costs? He's not listening to me.
I'm listening, but I'm not sure that I agree with what you just said, so.
What do you not
That's
agree with?
fine.
What do you not agree with?
It doesn't say anywhere that this is how much it's gonna cost to heat that for a year. It says this is what you get out of a ton of pellets and this is
No, I'm
what.
reading a note in the chat. It says right here in the chat. About $6,000 a year in pellet fuel is what Lime Green told Megan.
I find that interesting because that's what I pay for a residential spot in a year's worth of pellets. Now granted, I'm talking an old leaky farmhouse that I'm trying to get sealed up.
Oh, that thing's leaky.
But this thing's about to be spray foamed with an R60, I think it's said in there.
Yeah.
And radiant heat's probably be more efficient than my blown air, because you got a giant heat sink once you get the concrete.
Well, I mean, we'll have to guess at 6,000 and then see how far we go over.
You're also only gonna keep it to like 64 around doing like 70 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, when you get any hotter than that, you start working.
It's not comfortable anymore, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's gonna be extra cost. If we're doing it, I don't know the way to avoid the extra cost. So, all right. I made the motion to
The
do.
price of fuel going up.
And it's only gonna be
So-
See, I mean,
But not as quick as pellets,
pellets has gone up as well, just in the time that I've had it.
but not
nearly as fast.
right, not nearly as fast, and that's my point.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's just because it's getting more popular.
Okay.
I
Well-
second.
Collins seconds. I got a second. Anybody else want to talk about it? All those in favor? Okay. There you go, Lauren. You got to spend some money in your garage. Jesse, you get new windows
Oh, there's no toilet in there.
and a toilet.
No, it's not in any of the complex.
It better be. I can still do it. She just. Grant and aid. Are we getting a grant and aid, Lauren?
For 27?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we sign the letter of intent for the fiscal year 2027 grant and aid program.
Second,
That's free money, you know, here.
Do I need to sign this copy or is there another copy? That says-
That would, well, you need to.
So mine's printed front and back. No, it's not printed front and back. My copy's kind of crappy and it's stapled. I'll take another one.
That's the grant and aid, I'll print it for you.
Okay, thanks. Did we vote on that? Can't remember.
No, we didn't.
So. I don't remember who made the motion. I got distracted. I'll do it again. I'll make a motion that we sign the letter of intent for this fiscal year 2027 grant and aid program.
second,
All those in favor?
aye,
Okay. Did it again. Okay, is Snowsville gonna be a tier 1B region for Two Rivers Regional Plan?
I am inclined to vote no. The changes to Act 250 are still in flux substantially. I think when Two Rivers presented to us, they said this was fairly inconsequential for the town of Braintree because we don't have municipal sewer, we don't have municipal water. It is very unlikely that anything the size of 10 units or more would go in Braintree. And my feeling is that if something 10 units or more does go anywhere in Braintree, that our townspeople would like to have the opportunity that they get in Act 250 to participate in the process. So I'm disinclined to exempt Snowsville from the Act 250 housing requirement.
Anybody else? I'm 50-50. I could go either way just because I don't see anybody putting 10 units over there.
I apologize, would you mind giving me the 30,000 foot deal?
Where are you gonna put?
Oh, God, how do we even explain this?
Or I'll just recuse myself, or abstain, I don't know, because I can't vote.
There's a way to exempt. And somebody's gonna have to help me out. There's a way to exempt new developments of 10 or more units, between 10 and 50 units. In certain areas of town from Act 250 review. by putting them in this, so Act 250 is, it's,
A 30-year statewide land use process that requires large developments, which includes 10 units or more, to be reviewed by a regional planning commission and applying 10 criteria that the commission evaluates. There's an opportunity for neighbors to have party status in that process. And it's a judicial kind of process.
okay,
And
can be cumbersome.
it can be cumbersome. Developers think it can be expensive. Developers don't like it because there is an appellate process that holds up processes if landowners appeal.
Time-consuming.
And so there's a lot of pros and cons to it, but it is what has governed Vermont's environmental development law, and it is a development law. It is geared toward development, right? It's not geared toward environmental protection.
Okay.
It was enacted as a development encourager. And now the state is starting to reevaluate that. There's a whole cumbersome process going on. It's called Act 181. It creates these exemptions that Dan is talking about. And
In Act 181, I already has some problems.
and just on Friday, things that were gonna let happen on 2027 have now been kicked back to 2030. The mapping isn't getting done when it was supposed to get done.
They're designating zones, these tier 1A, tier 1B, tier 2, and we asked the other guy, you know, and based on what zone you're in, it's a different type of review and different type of allowable development and such. And we asked the guys from Two Rivers, which is our regional commission, right, to sort of help us out with stuff. Who's mapping this and when and how? And they said, well, we think we have 1B done, tier 2, nobody knows when, if it'll ever get done. So that's the kind of thing
And yet they're asking municipalities to vote on how you wanna engage with this still messy, undone, unknown process.
and
And
exempt
that's
people
where,
from.
and that's where I'm like, let's just wait until it's figured out.
All right,
And
why lock yourselves in if nothing's really fleshed out? Yeah.
There is a way, so and the way I understood them talk about it, even if we don't choose to exempt it. Once certain village designations are put in place, Two Rivers can basically Bigfoot us and exempt them anyway, right? Isn't that the way I heard it?
yeah, that's the way you heard it, and I'm not sure that's exactly the way it is, and this is the problem. No one's sure, not even the experts who are
The
involved with
legislatures
all
don't
this.
even seem to know what's going on.
Yeah, so it's like, why are we like, yes, we think this, we think that, in that quagmire? So,
Is this something that we need to vote on?
Yeah, we have to
What's that?
decide
Oh,
by the end of the month, so this is our last opportunity. I don't know, Jesse, what do you think?
I'm not getting involved.
Smart girl.
Lauren, Chelsea, you wanna weigh in?
It really, like Lou said, if it really even matters for us to get involved in, because tier 1B, which is what the Snowsville is supposedly, going to be, I don't foresee anyone putting that many housing units in there. Really, since you either have to supply municipal water or sewer, or there has to be tangible space for someone to have.
I think that's the critical issue. Where is the
Yeah.
space for this kind of units?
Where
Yeah,
is the
so
space
it's,
for this kind of units? And if you can't get like the correct sewer, like availability to have the space for sewage in there, then you can't do it anyway.
Thank
So I don't see the reasoning for us to say, yeah, let's opt into it when it's not something really feasible for our town anyway.
Well, then it might be that us sitting here saying, how would this even get pulled off? Means we need to let it be reviewed, right? Like, have it reviewed, because if it's that questionable, I don't want somebody to just be sort of slipshod going into it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
you like the Act 250 process for something like that.
Just because I don't see how it works. And
Right.
I want somebody to really tell me that it's gonna work before they just go in and do it.
I agree.
Before we,
Okay,
Other
so
tiers too are putting more restrictions on whatever they're going to classify tier 2 and tier 3 as. Like tier 3, whatever that is, you're going to have to get an Act 250 permit no matter what you're building. You can be building a house. You're going to have to apply for Act 250.
oh my God, okay.
that's a whole other side of the conflict.
sidetracked,
with
but
181. No, you're
No,
right, Chelsea.
But that just shows how crazy this all
Yeah.
is.
yeah, I think that this is something that, like, I think at the end of the year, it happens anyway. If I'm reading it correctly.
That's what
At
I
the end
read
of
too.
2026, it gets enacted anyway, as far as the 1A and 1B part of it. So I think we should just let it flush itself out in the next, 8 months or whatever.
Okay. So we can just let it sit because a non-vote is a no vote at this point. Certificate of compliance for roads and bridges. I don't think we have a choice on this, do we? Okay. I'll make a motion that we sign the certificate of compliance for town road and bridge standards and network inventory.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright,
Gotta do it to get the grants. Chelsea eyes too. Okay. Vote on reappointment of town officials whose terms have expired. You reached out to everybody, I think, Lou?
yeah, but they don't have everybody yet. So, Linda Doan has, accepted the appointment to the planning commission, and she would like to be reappointed to the DRB.
Okay.
Joan Richardson has both, Richmond, sorry, has, DRB and Conservation Commission appointments, but has not responded to whether she wants to continue that.
She won't ever respond.
Peter Reed has accepted his, appointment as auditor. Walter Scott has accepted his appointment to the Planning Commission. We have not heard back from Annie Massey relative to her appointment to the Conservation Commission.
Oh, I think she was just in paying her taxes and she's like, I was just appointed to the Conservation Commission.
Right.
She was super excited. so.
Good. And she was communicating with Walter Scott too, and I just emailed him as to whether he heard. So I think we can approve. Linda Doan to DRB, which is a new appointment. We can appoint, and everybody else we appointed last week.
Okay.
So
So we're good to go.
we're good to go. I think we should appoint Linda to the DRB for a new term.
Okay, he doesn't need to be here for this.
I
So,
move that we appoint Linda to DRB for a new 3-year term.
and I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
No, we're trying to get out of here.
No, that was just me reminding you.
Colin's my ride. He's
You're
gotta go.
He's not going there.
He's gotta get home. I'm gonna skip F until Lauren gets back, cause that involves him.
Well, Megan emailed Jesse and me today and said, that she can actually stay on as EMD if, town would like her to.
Do we have to
Did she
appoint?
not express that, Jesse?
That's different than the 911 coordinator. Oh, you're back to that.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, sorry.
So at the state level, there's some that have her as the acting emergency management director. She and I disagree on this. Because that was my understanding also, was that she was the acting EMD because she was chair of the select board and another one hadn't been appointed.
Right, she's the interim.
That's not what she was expressing to me, but that is the way I remembered it. So it was after a conversation with this person from the state who had her as the acting, it was decided that it should probably be, she should be actually appointed as
Rather
the
than,
EMD
Yeah, 'cause-
and not be considered the acting one.
right, cause the acting one reads, I think in all cases as I'm filling in to get the permanent guy.
Right.
Okay.
So
then,
it just seemed like it needed a vote to make her the EMD.
okay, well, that falls under the same thing, so I'll make a motion that we appoint Megan O'Toole as the emergency management director for the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Done. Okay, I'm skipping 911 until Lauren gets back. I don't know,
Select board photos, what?
No, G, what is G? Coordination of final agenda approvals.
So
That's you?
when we talked about, making Grace the person to post, we talked about the agendas getting done at 3 o'clock on
Yeah.
Fridays, but they're not being finished by 3 o'clock on
Okay.
Fridays. So that was.
Okay, well, I'll try harder and you can always talk to me.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure, I'm not sure that it's all you. I think it's just in general,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Because they have to be approved and everybody has to have their stuff on there by 3
Sure.
for you to say
Yeah, I think
yes.
we
And
put
so
stuff
we
on with the last
need
one.
the whole Packet by 3, we just need
The agenda,
the agenda
Okay.
by 3.
Yeah, and the
So-
packet can come later.
I can adhere to that. Well, the agenda, I'm sure, yes.
And
And
so,
we'll do a better job, me and Lou.
and for Colin's benefit, you get a copy of the draft agenda, and if you have an opportunity to look at it, and there's something you wanna add to it. It says in your thing, like, you just add a suggestion to it, and then Dan or Lou or Jesse or Paul get it on. Or push.
I think this week I had some things that came in late, so that one's on me. But we will do our best to abide.
So agenda by 2 on Fridays, that's what we're agreeing to.
She's saying 3, but if we shoot for 2, it gives us some wiggle room.
Okay,
Exactly,
And I will, and
that's what I thought he was doing.
I think it was what he was saying.
no, I'm shooting for 2.
and I will do my best to be on top of it, so we're not bumping up against it. Okay, 911 coordinator, you and I talked about this briefly.
He said he'd do it.
Great,
He just needs somebody to show him how to do it.
don't look
what
at
it is.
me.
So Chelsea,
0 about it.
Sure, I can show them the website that I look at every time I have to do it.
All right, cool. That's a start.
I think I think everybody just comes in.
And if he really has questions, I'll just have him call his sister-in-law. Cause she's a 911 coordinator up there.
Oh,
That's a
well,
good
there you
idea.
go.
Oh, perfect then.
So I will make a motion that we nominate Pete Legacy as the new E911 coordinator.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
That was easy. Now I gotta take a photo.
No, because Chelsea's not here.
It's not here.
No, I'm not here, darn.
I wore
Didn't wear my
dress.
flannel, you guys, I couldn't show them.
Everybody's got flannel.
Yeah, geez.
So okay, let's try to do the flannel again next week, everybody.
Everybody wear your flannel.
Lauren. What you want to say about payment orders?
And move to approve them.
Second,
All those in favor?
I,
Just so you know, because you don't even know what that is.
I know.
Okay, this is the bills that we're gonna pay over the last period since the last meeting, right, Jesse? Is that the easiest way to describe it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so somebody sits here at the end of the table and looks through them and makes sure all these totals match the checks that are actually written, okay? And then we approve them to be paid and they go back to Jesse and she takes care of them.
Do we all need to sign this or you just sign?
No, everybody has,
Everybody has to, yeah.
And
go ahead.
there is.
Oh, yeah, you got this thing.
There's an additional one in there for, I'm just looking up to get the correct. So the annual operating fee for the state is $13.50 for, municipal roads, general permit, things and jiggers. It's $13.50. It's in there, but I have to pay for it with a card. This guy I talked to today made me. So. If you can just approve that also, I'll just go online and pay for it.
Is that $13.50 or $1,350?
$1,350.00. In there somewhere.
In this stat?
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know where Grace put it, so.
Why do we have to list the municipality twice?
So here, 1,300. $10 odd, so it's not in this. Unless it's
It is not.
flipped or something, but,
No, it is not.
Am I the
It's
primary
right here.
contact on this? Might as well.
so it's all on the same order. We should put it right here.
Okay, so we've approved it based on this, right?
No,
Jesse disagrees.
I think that's right.
That is incorrect.
That's what I just said, that's not right. So it's not in there.
So do we need to make a motion, make a motion to approve Jesse's
1,300.
expense of $1,350 for the what?
No, it's the municipal roads general permit, the MRGP,
There you go. Got that, Paul?
Yes.
The MRGP,
annual operating.
annual operating fee. I made the motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
alright,
Yeah, so I have
Laura?
no idea where it is. It
Lauren
looks
said
like
aye.
this.
Just not.
Oh, I saw that.
Looks
I
like
swear I
that.
saw that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
They had a bunch of towns listed. I remember seeing
Yeah.
that.
No, no,
Whatever.
anyway.
Okay. I'm still trying to fill this thing out. No payroll warrant? Next meeting.
No.
Do we need the executive session? Did you just paper cut yourself?
You're the one that needed the executive.
No, it was you and me for our thing.
For our thing,
Uh,
legal matter.
I think we can skip that tonight.
Okay.
Okay, anybody got anything else?
no, sir,
We'll make a motion, we adjourn.
second,
All those in favor?
alright,
Yeah.
Chelsea, there's a check here for you,
Oh,
it's paid to come to meetings.
came to the meeting
Literally.
tonight, I went to match everyone in the photo, so.
That's all right. I don't have a, I can have a phone actually.
Now you know what to wear.
Yeah, yours is right behind you.
All right, Chelsea, have fun making bagels.
Thank you.
We might come and
Night,
get one in the
guys.
morning. I'm craving one.
Be there.
You got something else we gotta sign in?
Yes, we gotta sign. There was something else. The certificate of compliance. I got a copy with oil on it.
Thank you.
Do we care? Get a cleaner copy. Hold
Well, I think.
Yeah. Would you like that for your continuing reference, or do you got it on?
Yeah, it was really specifically to get speed.
Yep, yep.
on. Okay. Thank you all. Oh, I gotta stop the recording.
Got any questions, Colin?
No, I think I'm good. That's good, man. That's speed.
The other thing that we do like this every meeting is the payroll warrant,
Okay.
which is the same thing.